Shalom is your first and foremost. I do give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakadash, divine to the apostles, and our great millstone for teaching us His truth. Peace and blessings to the hope collective of Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the divine Hebrew. Ba'Shem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the Begotten Son. Back in our lesson. And today, we're going to be going to the situation dealing with the Iranian president being deleted after a helicopter crash, and how this could build the tensions between these nations, ultimately leading up to World War III, because you have multiple other sources, nations coming out saying that, foul play is involved, that it, wasn't just a, helicopter crash, but, whatever the case may be, it's all through the spirit part of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, and a prophecy will be fulfilled. However the Lord may do it. Now, I do want to read a little bit of this article, but I do want to play this quick video just to get this out the way. It's just 1 minute long. It's the Iranian president, Raisi, if I'm saying that correctly, killed in helicopter crash. And you have, once again, articles coming out saying, was it just a regular, helicopter crash, or was it America, this and that? So, the tensions are only going to rise even more. Fingers are going to be pointed, and retaliation may be given, for lack of better words. Because I'm also pretty sure that there was, multiple helicopters. I believe there were a little over 3, if not less than that, with the helicopters that crashed. So obviously there's something, more to the story than just, a regular crash. But like I, brought up in the lesson, however, it may happen, prophecies can be fulfilled either way, and all roads lead to World War III. The Lord is stirring that pot, between these nations for a reason, So let's continue on. There you go. Now let's get the article. And it's be a quick hit to his spirit, because I know this was, took place a little bit yesterday, and I was going to make a quick lesson going into it. You have multiple other brothers also speaking on this, because this is some heavy news, because this could lead up to something a whole lot bigger. But the Iranian president, foreign minister killed in helicopter crash. Supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, if I'm saying that correctly, announced his successors as condolences stream, and some inside Iran celebrate. Now it's going down. It says Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi was killed in a helicopter crash on Sunday, depriving Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, of a longtime ally, as Tehran angles for regional dominance through armed militias that are fighting the U.S. and Israel. This is, looks like I had to make an account just to reach the full thing, but I'll just read the last bit right here, and probably just get, another article, get that, and, get the scriptures. But it says, Raisi's death was announced earlier Monday after state television reported that a helicopter carrying him and Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian had made a difficult landing in northwestern Iran. The military said the cause of the crash was under investigation. So there you go, which I can't really, see the rest of it because I need to make an account, but I'm not going to do that. Let's get another article. Let's get this. AP News is always good. So what's next for Iran's government after death of its president in helicopter crash? Well, let's come to this, get the meat, and want to get those scripts at hand and get ready to close this thing out. And this is the death of Iran's president is unlikely to lead to any immediate changes in Iran's ruling system or its overarching policies, which are decided by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash Sunday, was seen as a prime candidate to succeed the 85-year-old Supreme Leader, and his death make it more likely that the job could eventually go to Khamenei's son. Though the hereditary succession would pose a potential crisis of legitimacy for the Islamic Republic, which was established as an alternative to monarchy, but which many Iranians already see a corrupt and dictatorial regime. I'm just leaving it at that. Now, so here's what comes next. How does Iran's government work? Iran holds elections for president and parliament with universal suffrage, and it's going to go to the way they run things. But ultimately, you get the main point. Like I brought up a few times in the lesson, Yahweh Shai is stirring that pot, and this situation could lead up to something a whole lot bigger. Fingers are obviously going to be pointed, and people are not going to fall for just a regular crash, which may have been just a regular crash. But you could also have Esau, Edom, have their hands in that. But Winston, like I brought up multiple times, however it may have happened, still through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. So you may see many complications and many tensions, conflict build from this right here. Especially when information may come out of the U.S.'s involvement, Israel's involvement, whatever the case may be, But the Revelation 11:14 now says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And like I brought up earlier, all roads lead to World War III, or also known as Armageddon. That's why you see how Shai constantly stirring that pot between these nations, building these tensions, because tensions can only get so high, And very soon it's going to reach a breaking point, and all hell is going to break loose, being World War III. But that's why you see these conflicts, continue to build between these nations and what the Lord's doing. Revelation 11:14, one more time, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe comes quickly. That second woe speaking of the Second World War, and the third woe speaking of the Third World War, which is approaching fast. Which, as also better read here in Matthew 24:3-8. Because these are the things that we would see take place before our Lord Yahushua will return. And they list off, the end-time signs and end-time prophecies that will take place, going to show the times that we're in. Now it says, and he sat upon the mount, all his disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? What should be the coming of the end of the world? And now when it says the end of the world, speaking of an end of an age, the end of an era, the end of Esau, Edom's rule, not the whole end of the entire earth, Verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said to them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. Be careful and wary of who you are listening to. That's why in Malachi 3:18, discern between who served the Most High and who served them not. It should be crystal clear by now with who the true teachers are. These lies guys, these other Israelite camps have obviously took the bag. That's why you see them promoting, pushing confusion, promoting false doctrine. A lot of you guys are through, man. Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars, which is the main point one more time. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. The spirit of war is in the air. Dealing with Russia, North Korea, the U.S., and especially dealing with the situation with Iran's president being taken out. Whether it may have been just a regular crash or not, many problems will arise from this, And like I brought earlier, especially if information comes out with, other people's involvement in that situation. Which is, looking like it. I wouldn't doubt it a bit. Now, verse 6 one more time, and we'll, get the rest of this. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. There's still things that need to be fulfilled and take place before World War III is fully, pretty much initiated. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, which you are seeing. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, but just in the beginning of this man, as you also get in the LT version, goes in the beginning of those birth pains. Now, the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, 9 through 13 verse, one of the main points. Now it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So you have these nations are, preparing for war. And I could also get one of the earlier verses to also help, push the lesson across. Yeah. I'll read the first verse onto the second, and we'll jump back down to the 9th. Now it says, for behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Verse 2, I will speak fast. I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. As you also get in multiple other scriptures, goes into that scattering, the diaspora, the dispersion of our people into these other lands. And when it says, part of my land, who took that land? Esau, Edom. Let's see if I'm missing anything. All right, let's jump back down to the main point, which I was wanting. Read verse 9 one more time. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. You'll beat these, farming, like tools, into weapons of war, preparing for a fight, preparing for war. Let the weak say, I am strong. Now you have nations start to, stand up against Babylon the Great. The nations that were, so-called weak in the eyes of Babylon the Great, of America, are now preparing to wage war. They are now standing their ground. A war is getting ready to take place, man. And guess what's going to involve many nations, especially to come up against Babylon the Great, aka America, which in Jeremiah 50. Now, verse 11, assemble yourselves and come all you heathen and gather yourselves together round about. And thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Verse 13, put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Especially if you're going against, Yahweh Shai and his people. As you also get on scripture for touching the apple of Yahweh Shai's eye, as well as going into the 3rd verse that we got, or the 2nd verse. Over time, I'm going to read the middle part. And I will plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And also Ezekiel, adding on to that point, which I was watching a little bit of the Edward Matzakba's lesson, going into it. Get a few of these scriptures that also help, push the lesson across. As Ezekiel 36:5, therefore thus saith the Lord God, that surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, another word for Esau, Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds is cast out for prey. Let's see. So showing you who did this, and whose the Lord's indignation is upon. Let's see where I left off at. Book of Joel. Let's go back up top. Verse 13. Put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near, the valley of decision. And you get the point, war is getting ready to be waged. Now let's get Isaiah 34, 1-6, adding to that point. Now it says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people at the earth hear, and all that there in the world, and all things that come forth of it. Verse 2, for the indignation of Yahweh Shemashad upon all nations. That's why we got in the book of Joel, how Lord is gathering these nations, So you see these nations are preparing for a fight, preparing for war. And the Lord's going to gather those nations, as you see right here, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them, he had delivered them to the slaughter, for them to be destroyed. Verse 3, their slain also should be cast out and their stink shall come out of the carcasses, the mountains shall be melted with their blood. It's going to show, how heavy that judgment is going to be. Bodies are going to be dropped in verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And the heavens being rolled together as a scroll, especially when you get, throughout multiple scriptures, it goes into that mushroom cloud, which you can see other examples within movies, shows, cartoons, and even in real life, which you'll see a military will do drills and testing certain missiles, and you can see a mushroom cloud being formed from that explosion. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all the hosts shall fall down as leaf falleth off from the vine, as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. What is that sword speaking of, man? Those thermonuclear missiles, which the Lord's going to rain upon this place. That's why you see once in the Lord building these tensions between these nations, stirring that pot, conflict continuing to break out, all that to reach, that breaking point, man. It's going to be World War III, which is prophesied and written in the Bible. As we got in the first scripture, Revelation 11:14, it's approaching fast, man. The third woe cometh quickly. And what's especially dealing with the situation with the Iranian president being taken out in a helicopter crash. Now, let's see. Which I don't know if I finished this off yet. Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which is another word for Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So the Lord is, gathering all these nations to judgment, man. As you see, the Lord's indignation is upon them. Especially, one of those that came up against his people, Israel. Verse 6, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood, is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of the lambs and the goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams, for the Lord has a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So there you go. Now let's get these last two, and that's going to be on that right there. Don't make it a super big lesson. Just want to get the main point. But the second of 9:1-4, now it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Now, how do we measure the times that we're in? By the way, these signs and these prophecies. And guess what? We're nearing the end of this devil's kingdom, especially with everything that's taking place and playing out right before your very eyes. Prophecy is unfolding at a fast rate. Wars in the air, and you'll see pretty much nearly every week. On Twitter, at times, you'll see World War III trending. And just once in talks and rumors of war in general. Now it said, when thou see part of the signs past which I told thee before, then shalt thou understand that at the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, which would be by the way of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Now it says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which is another telltale sign that we're nearing the end. As you see with the protests, the riots are taking place, earthquakes in diverse places, as well as just increase of these plagues and pestilence in general. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake those things from the days before thee, even from the beginning. Now let's get Habakkuk 2 and 3 and close this thing out. Now it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. And what is the vision? Speaking of the prophecies. And we're in those appointed times as written and spoken of in the scriptures, showing you the times that we are in. There is no time to be playing around. You're seeing World War III, Armageddon, getting ready to be kicked off, man. Because once, especially during the situation here, you're going to see fingers being pointed. People, scavenging for, information as to, what may have, caused this. Whether it was just a regular, crash or not. So just going to show how, high those tensions are going to be. Especially once and when information is found. If a third party was involved. Now, so about the angel speaking not lie, that would tarry, wait for it, because surely come, it will not tarry, meaning it will not delay. So these things will happen and will come to pass. Prophecy will be fulfilled, as it is written. So that's really on that right there. I was gonna make a quick update, going into the situation regarding this, Iran's president being, taken out in a helicopter crash. As you have multiple other brothers speaking on it, because this is big news. Things are happening, things are going down. And once you may see the situation heat up even more. So we have to see exactly how this will play out, what may lead up from this right here. But we all know what all these roads lead to World War III. So you're seeing the conflict continue to build, tensions continue to rise, and it's all due to probably how Bashar shot, stirring that pot to reach that boiling point, World War III, aka Armageddon. So that's it, that right there. Slight fight sound like a broken record at certain points, but Lord's will get the point across and you're edified. I do want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to you. How Bashar Shah, Bashar Kakadash, Deborah, the apostles, and also great millstone for teaching us this truth, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.